The Senate will now come to order. If you're still getting food, please continue to do so. Also, the public is more than welcome to grab food at any point of the meeting. Our first order of business is roll call. The Clerk of Senate will now take roll.
Hi everyone. If you are here as a proxy today, please raise your hand and say proxy when you hear the name of your senator. Nadia Alfarad.
Here.
Crystal Alvarez.
Here.
Kwamina Awali.
Here.
Fantasy Bias.
Here.
Catalina Carvajal.
Here.
Holly Carbine.
Here.
Antonio Cardenas.
Here.
Justin Duff.
Here.
Alana De La Torre.
Here.
Maya De La Torre.
Proxy.
Max Donahue.
Here.
Andrew DeHovic.
Here.
Eliza Giro.
Proxy.
Valerie Hymas.
Here.
Yashvi Kaladi.
Here.
Jesse Magana.
Here.
Simon Mizrahi.
Here.
Chidi Okaru.
Here.
Rhonda Papp.
Here.
Maya Ramirez.
Here.
Brianna Rivas. Andrew Schneider. Angelo Clark. Ernesto Truqui.
Here.
Anieli Villegas Barrera.
Here.
Vida Vesuvian. Here. Justice Soto.
Let the record reflect that quorum is met. Our second order of business is the approval of the agenda. Are there any motions?
Second.
There's a motion on the floor having been seconded to approve the agenda. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please raise your placards and say aye. All opposed? And any abstentions? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is a brief report from me. I just wanted to update y'all on the chairs for academics and health and wellness. We are in the process of interviewing folks who were interested. And so they will be confirmed next week at Senate. So look forward to that. The same thing for senators. We're still taking applications, and so we're going to review those ASAP. Hopefully we can also get them to join next Thursday. Are there any questions about anything? Cool, thank you. Next item on the agenda are reports from committee chairs, and we'll start with Rhonda.
Hi everyone, I'm Rhonda. Is this working? Okay, cool. And the chair is of sustainability. So my update is about the Aussie program once again. I hope you all have had a chance to either use it or you've seen it on campus or you've talked to someone who's used it. If you have any comments or concerns or anything like that, please come and talk to me. I won't buy it, promise. I'd love, or Alana too. We'd love to hear about what you think about the program or like any suggestions for like the future of the program. Thank you so much.
Hey, I'm Fantasy, Chair of Student Work Committee, and we don't really have much updates except that we're going to have some student works today to present. We'll probably have some more these next couple of weeks, but other than that, we're trying to plan the student work mixer and student work ceremony this semester.
I don't have a report.
I have a couple updates. I'm Maya from the Student Work Committee. So one of them is that this Sunday is the grocery tram, like I said last week. And we need a couple more hands because some of my, okay, thank you, Catalina, yes. So by a show of hands, just as Catalina did right now, is anybody available this Sunday from 12 to 4 to help with the grocery tram? Okay, thank you, I will be contacting you. And then my second update is about the LIFT initiative. It's similar to like what I just asked in that We were thinking of tabling so that we could make the survey go out to more students and be more engaged with, but a lot of my committees cannot do that as well. So is anybody in Senate available to table on Tuesday the 18th during dead hours? A show of hands, please. So 2 people. Okay, I might contact you. We'll see that. But yeah, please tell your friends about the grocery tram this Sunday. Bring your cool canvas bags. And yeah.
Hello. Sorry. So for this Saturday, we have 2 basketball games. Women's basketball from 2 to, we're having a little event with student org from 1 to 2, so please come out, show some support. And then we have another men's basketball game at 7. So that's it.
Thanks. Our next item on the agenda are reports from exec, and Mariam can start. Sorry, Kwon.
Should I give the report on behalf of the activists?
Oh, yes, of course.
Oh, hi, I'm Kwamina. Basically, after our first meeting, we're actually able to get quite a lot done. Our first update, and probably our biggest update, is we have a clear solution for a method of free training on campus. We looked into previous methods and we were able to come up with a general funding of maybe 50 to 60 cents per person on campus, like in their campus cash, right? Because printing maybe 6-9 cents a page, so they'd be able to get a couple pages and we'd be able to advertise it, and over time we'd be able to, mess around with it and see what works. Another update that we have was we're looking into finding a 24-hour space on campus regarding just a study space that we can work with. So we've contacted the heads of they're creating the new learning commons that's coming up. So we're in contact with them and some other people on campus. Another update that we have is we're also looking into the textbook reserve program, and we're going to add some more books to that. And we should catalog us on that one. But yeah, cool.
Thanks.
Hi everyone, I'm Marion. I have 3 quick updates. So the first one is regarding the task force that myself and Dr. Ivanich, who is the chair of the University Senate, are spearheading. I just wanted to let you all know, because I know we talked about it last semester, it's in full swing, and I will be giving you all updates as things continue to happen. We actually do have a couple of senators on that task force as well, so please feel free to reach out to them. Actually, can you all raise your hands if you're on the task force? Awesome. So please feel free to reach out to them if you have any questions, or you can come to me. Please let me know, also by the way, of anything that might be happening on campus in relation to hate or acts of intolerance or bullying or anything like that. With this task force, we're really trying to centralize a lot of what's going on, so that way we're not doing redundant work. So if something's going on campus, there's any way for us to support it instead of doing the same thing later on. It's one of the better ways for us to make sure that whatever happens on campus is consistent, and it gives a full circle idea of what we want to see. In regards to SACBOT, some of you know that Carolina and I sit on the Student Affairs Board of Trustees meetings twice a semester. So for one of them, I am actually presenting on behalf of ASG, and I wanted to just see if there was any kind of interest. I'm trying to have a student panel for part of it, so if I could just get a raise of hands of any senators who might be interested in speaking at Board of Trustees. I will be doing a panel based on a member from Exec, TPB, and Senate. So can I just get a raise of hands? Awesome, and then the last thing is actually a really fun one. I don't know if you all know or not, but Friday, February 14th is World Bonobo Day in San Diego. And so it's this really cool event that is being sponsored here at USD in collaboration with the LGBTQ+ and Allies Commons. Dr. LaFleur, who is a professor in the anthropology department, is actually the one who is the creator of World Bonobo Day. So it's just a fun event for students to come and learn about bonobos. They're actually the make love, not war primate. They're actually our closest related and closest related to us genetically, and they actually have a lot of queer nature in their groups. And so the whole point of this event is to just learn about bonobos queer nature and just celebrate this awesome day and event. So if you're free, Friday at 1:30 p.m. it's going to be in St. Tekakwitha in 215. There'll be some free baby cakes, rainbow cupcakes that you can decorate, and you can just have a lot of fun learning about them. So yeah.
Hi everybody, good to see you all. 3 quick updates. So one, regarding the ASG textbook reserve, those textbooks have been purchased. This semester, we actually received double funding than we did prior. So went from 3,000 to 6,000, so we were able to buy over 40 new textbooks for students, as well as updating older editions. The second announcement is about the ASG academic grants. So this semester, we plan to move up the deadline for the application process. So it will actually, the application will go live Tuesday, February 15th, and it will last about 3 weeks, and it will close on Thursday, March 12th, so the Thursday that we come back from spring break. There'll be a flyer coming out next week. The academics committee is doing a great job of helping put that together. Last announcement is about Faculty Senate. So Faculty Senate, every year they have, well, every semester they have multiple task force. There's one like the task force on hate, that multiple people of you guys are involved in, as well as other ones. One specifically is Open Access Task Force. These are great places where a lot of good work is done, but I think student voices is underrepresented, and I think that's a place where they can be very vital. And so I would encourage anybody that's interested, please come talk to me. I can put you in contact with Dr. Vonich, as well as looking to join these task forces. I want to get you more specific information on specific ones. So I'll probably reach out to Carl and have that sent out. Please do feel free to reach out. I think having our voice in an area where administration is very important. So yeah, thank you.
Hi everybody, so a few quick things. So may I get a show of hands of the senators who are available before Senate meetings to help me with food transportation, if possible?
Anybody else?
Awesome. The next thing is, I know that some of the committee chairs have sent me their emails, or sorry, their calendars through Google email, or Google Calendar, sorry. But there's still a few that I'm missing. If you guys can get those into me as soon as possible, that'd be much appreciated.
Hello everyone, I only have one update for today. So last week was Alcala Bazaar, and one of the things that we were doing was having students come up and write on a sticky some things that they would like to share with ASG, concerns, or things they just want to see changed on campus. I was able to compile all those stickies. We had more than 45 responses, which is really good. And I typed them. I'm going to be passing this around. So y'all can take one and pass it down, please. I was able to organize them into either committees which they pertain to, or certain initiatives. There's a lot of really good feedback, as well as other feedback that could be, that doesn't really have a context. But I think that it still goes to show how students are feeling. And, like people took the time to write this down. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
So the main update for you guys is that the budget that we presented last week is finally on the website. Just to let you all know though, that is not the final one that will be up there. I spoke with a couple advisors and we got to go ahead to put more detailed information on there. So that's something that a lot of students have asked for. So we currently are working on one, and as long as until it's approved, which will probably be by next Senate meeting, I'll come back, show it to you guys, and then it'll replace the one that's up there. The information is all the same, it's just the way it's presented. Additionally, I've emailed centers and everybody that can request funds to meet with them so that we can have a more streamlined process, so that we don't have to meet on the last Senate day to fund all of fall. So we're trying to get more of a flow of things, to give you guys more time to review the things and more time for you guys to ask questions during Senate if you have them. If you guys would like for me to share those deadlines with you, I can through Gado's email, but those deadlines have already been set for their requests. Finance Committee's meetings will be hashed out by the end of this week, most likely.
Hello, everyone. I was saying Friday, but it's definitely Thursday, which is disappointing. My main update is just we have an event coming up with BSRC that I want to put on your guys' calendars. We have been working with the BSRC on their After DFest. I don't have solidified details yet. I'm hoping to have all of those to you by next Thursday, our next Senate meeting. But it's going to be February 25th from 12:30 to 2 p.m. Tentative location is Paseo de Colachis. We're still solidifying that. So hopefully next meeting I'll have more updates for you, but we're really excited for it, so I hope you all will make time to come.
Oh, excuse me. So I don't have many updates, but for our election bylaws, those should be coming to you next week. But for informationals, which are up on the screen, we set a kind of tentative date and times. The times should be pretty set. The locations, some of them may change depending on their availability, but this is like what we're hoping for. We have exec and the 5 justices to present, but we're also looking for a few more senators just to get diverse experience in ASG to present to people. So I'm looking for about like 10 senators. There's like a variety of times, days, morning and night. So there's more than likely that you are available for one of them at least. So can I get a raise of hands to who's interested? Thank you.
Next item on the agenda under new business is a review of the parking reappeals bylaws that were sent out to you this past Tuesday. Next time we will try to do it on a Google Doc so you all can leave your suggestions there. But we were hoping that you still brought in some feedback, any corrections or questions you may have. Inaya can answer.
So I don't know if the parking bylaws, like the old ones, were ever sent out to you guys, but we didn't really change much besides actually make it applicable to our branch. Out of like procedure-wise, I think we changed one thing. It just gave us more freedom to like be nicer to students, less strict, I guess. But that was really all. Were there any like questions about them or comments?
Ernesto?
I would just like to understand what kind of issues would the reappeal court take into consideration that the Office of Parking Services doesn't.
So it's like basically if you get like denied, you can come to us for anything. What we changed was we had to deny like appeals relating to parking and handicap spaces, but the bylaw said we had to deny it. So anything comes to us, but like we change it so we can actually do something about some things rather than just saying, okay, you can waste your time to come here, but we're still going to deny you. But yeah, we hear like every type of appeal within parking. Anything else? Fancy.
I don't think I saw it, but does it say how many times you can reappeal, or how many times you can?
So usually once you like appeal to parking and then they deny you, you reappeal to us. Most people just reappeal once, but technically we can overturn our decision if there's like new evidence that we didn't know. Or you can appeal to, I forget his official title, but Kai Schneider, he presented all this. He's also someone you can appeal, reappeal to.
So it's kind of unlimited? It's kind of unlimited in how many times you can?
Yeah, I suppose, but yeah, you have to have like new information. So if you keep getting new information all the time, then theoretically.
also have more questions. I didn't know if anyone else wanted. I'm just gonna, okay. So also, I just had a suggestion of taking in consideration first-year students and also transfer students, like anyone, like when it's their first year here, because parking is very confusing and they don't explain it at all actually, unless you get the paper from them. So I would just take that into consideration, and like it's just really hard when you first navigate.
When we're like in the meetings, we try to take into consideration like if you're a first year, well, in the future, first years can't have cars, so that's out of the table. But like for transfers, like their previous history, they would have none because this is their first violation, their first few. So usually just in previous sessions, they get warnings.
Okay, also I did see something about like the accessible parking, but I didn't see it in this one. Did you have to take it out? Or?
What do you mean about?
Like we can't appeal for.
Oh, the handicap. Yeah, we removed because it said you had to deny a handicap, like if they park in the handicap. And that was only because, we only removed that because there's gray area in terms of like, if your temporary like handicap permit expires but you still are injured, we had to deny that, which is like unfair, but there's still precedent to deny people that are just wrongly parking in handicap spaces.
Also, I think there should be stuff about the golf carts in there. Maybe like specifically, like, I don't know if I feel like they don't ever get ticketed, and they kind of can just do whatever they want, but they are very like much a nuisance in parking.
I think that's parking services procedure, because this is only for appeals, so if parking services doesn't give them tickets, then like, we can't listen to them at all.
Okay.
Anything else?
I also have another one. Okay, I was just thinking possibly if there could be a way of like someone either like they're able to make payments on their ticket, or if they can do like a service work or something like that besides money.
That's actually David is in the back. Hi, David. He's our like parking appeals coordinator, and he in our meeting, because like some people get hefty fines, and we were like, that's a problem that they can't pay it all, and then if they can't pay it, then it gets doubled and it gets put to their student account. So he's meeting with parking either later today, sometime this week or soon, to deal with that.
Okay, perfect. And one more thing, on section 5, I have it on here, I guess, for the he/she. One of them doesn't have /they.
Oh, my apologies.
So just
section. Oh, of course.
That,
Arthur.
That's it. Thank you.
That's a technology. Can I have the microphone?
Please, Jesse.
Sorry, it was from me. To touch on what she was saying about the like payment option, because I'm just gonna out myself. I got like a hefty amount of parking tickets last semester. One of them was really rude. I'm not gonna say anything about it, but it doubled to $200. I'm gonna say that. And they took it out of my financial aid. And so that is like a thing that they do if you can't pay in time, that they take it away from your financial aid. So now I got like significantly less financial aid this semester because they took it out of my financial aid to pay for a parking ticket.
Yeah, that's parking services procedure. That's just if you don't pay it, they double it.
Yeah. But I'm saying because he's gonna go to the meeting with them, so it would be good to like note that when you do, if you can, David, please. That it like affects you financially as well as like academic financials as well.
Okay. Angela?
So it says that we can only reduce the fine by up to 50%. Can we change that?
Fire lane violations.
Oh, is that okay? Can't change those?
That's like law. So like I think most of that is just coming from California state law and how, why would you be parking in a fire lane?
Well, I just noticed that some of our fines are more than like they would be in a public space on a non-private university. So
David is also going to talk to parking services about how they overcharge students, so. Anything else? Any motions on the floor to approve?
I move to approve the bylaws, the reappeal bylaws. Second.
There's a motion on the floor, having been seconded, to approve the parking repeal bylaws. Is there any further discussion?
Just a point of order, it requires 2/3 majority.
All right, all those in favor, please raise your placards and say aye. Aye. All opposed? And any abstentions? Motion passes. Thanks, Ned.
Next item on the agenda is the approval of new and re-registering student organizations, and Alana will be presenting for us today.
Hi everyone. We have 4 clubs that need approval today, 2 re-registering and 2 new ones. First is a Cool Kids Club. The purpose of this club is to build relationships with differently abled students at Trace, shift the narrative of the differently abled community, and bridge the gap between the USD and this community. And then it's the Men's Lacrosse, and the purpose of this org is to foster the development of young men both on and off the field, providing leadership and lacrosse experience. And then for new clubs, it's the Third World Coalition, and it's a solidarity organization that aims to unite students of color, LGBTQ+ folk, and allies on our campus, and they'll address hate crimes, acts of intolerance, and other issues that affect our communities at USD. And then there's the Industrial/Organizational Psychology Club, and they're centered on bringing the business and psych field together. And at their meetings, they intend to present latest research and trends, bring outside speakers, and have resume/professional career help. So are there any questions about any of these clubs? Or any motions to approve these orgs either altogether or separately?
Justice?
I move to approve the new orgs and the re-registering orgs altogether.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor, having been seconded, to approve both the re-registering and new student organizations. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please raise your placards and say aye. Aye. All opposed? And any abstentions? Motion passes. The orgs are approved. Thanks. The next item on the agenda is a statement from Dr. Avery, who is with us today.
Is that mic?
This mic is working, but it's up to you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and I want to thank you for the invitation to speak with all of you today. I appreciate the opportunity to share information with you regarding the training on Saturday, September 1st. I have also been asked to answer several questions, but first, however, I would like to acknowledge my impact on this community. Approximately 4 days prior to the training, I met with Nick Tuig, a graduate assistant, to discuss our presentation. He shared with me that he wanted to discuss active listening and to show his favorite TED Talk video. I had not seen the video, and we watched it in my office. I advised him that I felt that it was extreme and asked him to cut out the most triggering aspects of the video, and he did so. I anticipated as a result of our conversation that he would put context around the video as well as issue a trigger warning prior to showing the video, which, as you are aware, he did not. I have learned it is not enough to trust. I should have verified his intent to do so. I am extremely sorry for the pain the video and the subsequent experience caused and the impact it had on so many of you in this room on that day and in the days following. I stand before you today having recognized that my white silence and complacency when I did not tell him unequivocally that he could not use that video due to its tokenization and its perpetuation of harm. One necessary aspect of unlearning the aspects of whiteness that privilege me and disadvantage others is recognizing that the journey to anti-racism, and in this case anti-blackness, is a lifelong one. This journey is never over, and I recognize the more I learn, the more I have to learn and to unlearn. This experience has served as an acute reminder in my work that I'm enveloped in unearned privileges, and it impacts the experience of others. I carry with me the sorrow of having harmed this community, and know that that is mine to carry and not place on others. I'm going to answer several questions that I have been asked. I appreciate that several of you have reached out to me and met with me individually or in small groups, and I have additional appointments scheduled, so thank you for reaching out. The first question is, what is going to happen to Nick? Nick will no longer be working with the Torero Program Board. As this is a personnel matter, I'm unable to share any other information with you regarding the situation. I understand that this answer might seem inadequate, but please understand that employee matters are confidential and therefore the process cannot be publicly commented on. This protection applies to all employees, no matter the circumstances. Again, he's not going to be coming back to work with TPB. Another question I was asked is how are graduate assistants trained? GAs engage in intensive work inside the classroom, as well as training as a cohort, all of the GAs, and by the department to which they are assigned. This situation has resulted in a review of the questions asked during the interview process for GAs, as well as our training curriculum. Next question, is my position under review? After the training, I made my supervisor, Carmen Vasquez, the Vice President for Student Affairs, aware of the incident. During this meeting, I expressed my deep regret about the incident and sought her guidance and feedback. We have continued to be in dialogue about this matter as the situation has evolved. I am committing to continuing my self-work, education, and development to ensure I better understand, deconstruct, and transform ongoing structures that reinforce power, privilege, and oppression. As a human, I will continue to make mistakes. I commit to you that I will also do my best to make sure that this doesn't happen again. I have been asked why I don't stay for the entire Senate meetings. It's entirely dependent on the week. Last week, unfortunately, I had to leave because I had a 1:30 meeting with a student who was in crisis. I couldn't postpone this meeting because I needed to report back to his parents what I was observing and meeting with them. As you know, Torero hours are anything but dead hours. I try to be at Senate when I can, but being here also means that I'm not available to attend events sponsored at the same time by the Commons, other departments, student organizations, and then I cannot be present at Greek Council meetings. Oftentimes, meetings with faculty members are also held at this time because it's when they are most available. But we have an amazing team of full-time advisors with Jen, Amanda, Madeline, and Emily, and I trust that they will be here to advise and guide you. Today, I have 3 meetings scheduled between 12 and 3 o'clock. I've charged a colleague to cover for me from 12 to 2, but do have to attend a meeting at 2 o'clock. If preferred by the Senate, I will not attend meetings unless I can be at the entire meeting. Did I make a comment about someone or a group playing the victim card? Unequivocally, no. I witnessed and felt the pain experienced at that training. It was raw and it was real. And I would never try to diminish the feelings of others, particularly individuals who are marginalized every day within our community. After this question was brought to my attention, I reflected on a part of the presentation adapted from the text called Crucial Conversations, regarding our roles when we have conflict with partners, roommates, classmates, etc. The authors posit that we often tell ourselves clever stories about helplessness, that we can't do anything about the situation. Victim stories, that we didn't contribute to the conflict with our partner. Or villain stories, that the conflict is completely somebody else's fault. This was in no way to construe that anyone or any group was playing the victim card. This is not a term I have ever used about any group and never will. Given this is not a term I don't use, I'm guessing that this is where the concern came from. What exactly is my job? In addition to supporting ASG, TPB, and student organizations, I supervise 9 student life administrators, work with each area of the Commons, the BSRC, the UFMC, the Women's Commons, and the LGBTQ+ and Allies Commons, fraternity and sorority life, graduate student life, the Military and Veterans Program, and the Commuter Commons. I also direct the Truro Renaissance Program, which is our program for students who are former foster youth who are homeless or at risk of homelessness. I serve on approximately 7 committees and task forces across campus, and I also ensure that there is food in the USD pantry and clothing in the Truro closet. And I'd like to thank ASG for ongoing support of students who face food insecurity. I'd like to close by reinforcing that I am committed to continuing to explore my white privilege, as well as interrogate, gain clarity, and dismantle the ways in which I reinforce oppression. I believe everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect, love, and compassion. This is an ongoing journey that I'm determined to continue, and I truly appreciate your willingness to listen and welcome ongoing conversations. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Jimmy? Sorry.
If possible, Dr. would you be able to take questions or comments from the public at this time, since I believe that's
Yeah, I'm fine.
Sorry. Drew? Wait, sorry, Drew. I got you after.
Sorry. Thank you for coming here today. I just don't want to know like what you're gonna do personally to do better. Like, I mean, you gave us a nice speech, but actions speak louder than words.
Absolutely.
And I just want to know like what you're doing personally to do better.
Absolutely. So there's 3 things that I have engaged in immediately. One is I'm listening to an audiobook, and it is around, not meditation, what's the word I'm looking for? Mindfulness and racial healing. I'm also working through a workbook that's called the Handbook for Racial Justice. And I'm also engaging with several of my white colleagues, and we're working through a book called Me and White Supremacy. So those are 3 immediate things that I've decided to do. In addition, I strive to learn about more groups on our campus all the time. I just went through the Safe Space Allies training last week. I'd been to it maybe 10 years ago and thought it was time for a refresher on that, reviewing different things, and was at an hour presentation this morning on anti-Semitism.
Are you engaging with any Black or brown people in this? You said your white colleagues, so.
Yes, I'm engaging in the white colleagues specifically around our role in white supremacy and what we're going to do to address that. And yes, I'm also going to be engaging with Black and brown colleagues as well.
Is this just a white space of white colleagues talking about their issues with brown and Black people?
No, not at all. It is a review of a book called Me and White Supremacy, or White Supremacy and Me. And we're reviewing that text to look individually at our role in the systemic oppression of others. So it's a self-reflection, not a placing blame or judgment on anybody. It's to hold ourselves accountable.
Ellie?
So what is being done to hold not only you, but the rest of the administration accountable? Like, is there active training that you all have to go through? And is the training does it actually challenge, if there is any training, does it challenge you? Or are you forced to come out of your comfort zone? Because I don't see how we can expect, or I can personally expect, these students to do their job if you're not getting adequate training, because I think that it starts at the top and it trickles down, like ignorance is very apparent. And what is being done, this kind of goes back to what Andrew understood what are you actually going to do. I love that you're reading and all that and you're learning, but how are you going to put this into action? Like what steps are you actually going to take to address this and to ensure that USD is safe for Black students?
That's a great question. So this morning at President's Cabinet, and that's the deans down to assistant vice presidents, I just mentioned, had a presentation on anti-Semitism, and every time we have a presentation on something else to challenge us, and I think this is probably a great topic that we need to work on as a larger administration, and so I will advance that to the folks who plan these meetings. In addition, I think within our division, we do trainings and across the campus, honestly, where they're opt-in, and I wish that we could do more that would be systemic and require folks to go. And I know that this happens with faculty as well. We don't have a mechanism at the moment to force faculty members to do work. Go ahead.
Is there a reason why that's not a mandatory training that faculty members do go through? So I've never understood that. Would that be a question for Gail Baker?
Yes. Yeah, that's probably a question for the provost. Yep.
Or Jace.
Being that the video affected Black students in particular, because you had KKK and all the history that they had with African American people in this country, I just want to know how come you didn't reach out to speak to student boards that serve Black students? Like, I mean, I know there's BSRC, but you have ASU, African Student Union, you have Black Student Union, BSU, and you have NSB, National Society of Black Engineers. Students that occupy multiple spaces on this campus. I just want to know how come you didn't reach out to any of those student orgs to see which ways that you can implement these actions that you claim to working towards.
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't have an answer for that. I wanted to work first with this group of students because they're the ones who were directly impacted, those who were at the training, and engage in dialogue there, and then I will move out in concentric circles.
My question's answered.
I think that, thank you for what you said, and I also think that it's important to address that, like, not only you, in whatever position you hold, are having these conversations and going through these trainings, but that, like, at the upper level of administration, like the highest point, these conversations are also being had. And I would even say that, like, if Starbucks or all of these companies who had to address racial biases and their own corporations can close their stores for a day, then I think that it's in the best interest of the students at the school, particularly Black and brown students, in this case Black students who are affected by it, that for one day the administration would cancel every meeting that they have to they themselves go through racial bias training that's not hosted by anyone who works at the school but from an outside organization. And I would go as far as to write a resolution that would ask the administration to do that, because if we're thinking about it, like, it comes from the very top. The president of this university is a white male. And if he, at the very top of the totem pole, isn't having these conversations about how he himself also influences and upholds, like, white supremacy and historically and, like, within the system of education, then I think that it won't trickle down to the bottom, which is sometimes how we miss these conversations that are being had. And so I would highly suggest that that's something that is in conversation, that the folks at the very highest peak of the totem pole have those conversations and literally block out their schedule for a whole day to go through a training such as this. And I also hope that these are conversations that, like, I know that some of our exec members, like, meet with President Harris and with the provost and whoever else, and I hope that these are conversations that are being had in those meetings as well, so that we can make sure that the message is being hit on as many times as it possibly can. Because complacency also isn't going to help in situations like this as well.
You reached our time for the discussion. Anyone has anything else to say? In motion for the time to extend.
Thank you.
I move to add 10 minutes.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor, having been seconded, to add 10 minutes to the discussion. Is there any further discussion?
Is this discussion for the final business, like adding 10 minutes to final business hearing or to Dr. Avery?
To Dr. Avery. All in favor, please raise your placards and say aye. All opposed? And any abstentions? Motion passes. Tony?
So I would say just for next training, it's clear that we need a little bit more of diversity in opinion. So I would say like if before the training, maybe like when it with the exec or other administrators, or you know that could provide this diversity in opinion, that'd be great because it's clear, you know, we do need that.
Kwam?
I guess my question to you is, I mean, do you think all of this is going to be enough? Do you think this is where it stops, or just a reflection?
I mean, I can speak for myself, and you know that I'm committing to doing the ongoing work. I can't commit on behalf of the whole institution, unfortunately. So as far as I'm concerned, that is my goal, is to continue to grow and learn and unlearn what I've been taught in my years. I won't say how many. So I wish I could say that on behalf of the university. I will take this information forward, so I'm taking notes to encourage ongoing training of my colleagues, my peers, and those above me.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Thank you for coming today. I think another thing that might be a good addition to whatever training maybe had on like diversity and active listening is where do we draw the line between, you know, like overcoming difference and then like tolerating hate, tolerating violence, tolerating harm. Because I know as a person of color, that is often a battle that I have with myself. You know, my parents raised me to like be kind and like try to get your message across to everyone and like don't shy away from people just because they might be different from you in the beginning, but that's obviously far different than trying to like make your oppressor your friend or like become a member of the oppressors altogether. So I think that's really important, and I would suggest you and your colleagues also discuss that in your self-reflection, just because white people do hold the power often to kind of navigate who they want to overcome difference with and who they want to ignore the difference altogether. So
Absolutely, thank you.
Grayson?
Hi, Dr. Agree. Thank you for that statement, by the way. I know you brought it up to Vice President Vasquez. I was wondering about the awareness level of President Harris of this event, and like to what extent has he been informed about the situation?
Yeah, I'm not sure because she would communicate to him, so and she's not here right now, so I'm not sure whether or not she had a conversation with him about it.
Drew? So, look, you mentioned that a lot of like, you know, the steps you're taking are primarily with white people. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, do you think that is a good idea? Maybe, I don't know, throw yourself into like more diverse environments so you can learn from other people other than just, you know,
No,
white people?
I'm doing that as well, and some of the authors of the books are Black individuals. The white group, there's only one, and that is to hold ourselves accountable. So I am doing what I can to engage in different locations with different people, and but this group in particular is an accountability group.
Okay. As like a, sorry, as kind of maybe a suggestion, like I know there's always like good talks and like sit-ins that go on around this campus for multiple identities and such, so you can check them out.
Absolutely. I attend whenever I can.
Marion.
I just have two quick things. In regards to Grayson's question about President Parrish's awareness, I am meeting with him later in March, and I'm also meeting with Carmen, I believe, in a week, and I'll be checking in with them to see what the status of their information and what is being done in an administrative level. So once that happens, I will definitely let you all know what they say. These are conversations that I'm definitely having with them whenever I meet and holding them accountable to. So please know whatever you say, I definitely always bring back to them. And second of all, Dr. Avery, something that I really appreciate all the educational work that you're doing to better educate yourself and continue the unlearning. The only thing is I really do want to echo what Drew said in terms of putting yourself in those situations. Like there's a bunch of events and organizations here that I know would be more than happy to have you present in those spaces to be able to learn and see the different aspects of being a person of color. And so I think a big step in terms of what you can do as a person is actively be in those places, not just educating yourself through books and things like that.
I don't disagree at all, and I appreciate the opportunity to attend those events whenever I can.
Justin?
Hello, Dr. Ivy. Thank you for coming out again to speak to all of us. My question is, in regards to the actual goal of the training, meaning your specific role, the presentation that occurred directly after the playing of the TED Talk video, the whole active listening and dialogue to difference exercise, do you know, at least for like the current staff here or current Senate, would that ever be attempted to continue that exercise before this year ends, or maybe in future trainings? Just because I feel like a lot of us could have taken a couple things to learn from that training if, you know, the unfortunate circumstances didn't prevent that. So that's my question. Just would at least that portion of your training be continued at any time in the future?
That's up to exec.
Rhonda?
First of all, thank you so much for coming to speak to all of us. My question is regarding to like, so you're with a group of your like coworkers and white groups to discuss like your white privilege, but my question is, was this group formed on like everyone heard of the situation and you all wanted to take actions personally, or was this something that was like encouraged by you or upper ups?
No, this is a group that the seeds had been planted for a while. We were waiting for a book to come out, and a couple of my colleagues had reached out to several of us who wanted to discuss and engage in this work, and so the timing actually coincided with this. Yeah.
And then with that, is there a possibility for like the whole of campus to be aware of like these goals that you and others are making? I think this is a conversation that could be more campus-wide too, because a lot of maybe professors or departments may not necessarily know that this is an issue and students are frustrated.
I kind of wanted to go back to Justin's question because it was left up to exec, but I remember saying that some other aspects of training were cut off due to like the incident, people like not being in the like headspace to continue with training. So we, at least myself and the advisors, were thinking about maybe when we have like not a long agenda, like a shorter like business, we can like implement some of the things that we were trying to do into Senate time, just so we can like recuperate that time that we did not get. So hopefully we can start planning to do that, and that can happen sooner rather than later.
Also, might I suggest you attend the play reading that's happening for Black History Month in 2 weeks? And everyone here, I think you guys should probably attend too if you can. It's on the 28th at 6 p.m. and it is a horror genre play about the horrors of being a Black student on a predominantly white campus like this one. And it's written by one of our very own USD students, so I think that would be a really good way to kind of experience the very real things that are happening both on this campus and nationwide at BWIs. Thank you, I'll be there.
Point of privilege, I have to attend a code review meeting.
Alana?
For whoever gets Nick's position, how will you ensure that whoever that person is more educated, I guess?
Yeah, well, that's Jen and Amanda and Emily will be working to hire somebody for that position. And I'm sure that they will be going through a series of very intentional questions and training to follow up to make sure this doesn't happen again.
We reached our time limit again.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Agri. Our next item on the agenda is final business and hearing of the public. At this time, any senator may take from the table any motion previously laid in the meeting the week before or present urgent business. Any member of the public may voice any concerns to the assembly on non-agenda items. Angela?
So last week I was at the core curriculum meeting or committee, and I wanted to share with you a new amendment that was passed by them that would what will happen now moving forward is classes with 3 or more core curriculum designations will go through a more thorough review process. So the effects of that moving forward will probably be that you will see less classes with 3 or more designations. There was a long conversation had at that meeting, but I thought I would share that all with you, and then if anyone ever has any questions or feedback that you would want me to bring to those meetings, just feel free to reach out to me. And then one more thing kind of regarding your email about the Safe Space Allies training. So I worked with the Rainbow Educators Program, and there is, I think, 8 people in Senate, 8 or more, who would want to do that Safe Space Allies training. We could do like an individual session for just ASG, so that's just something to consider.
Thank you. Justice?
I just had a quick question. So about the training, let's say that we have a short agenda one day and then we do the training. Who's going to come up with the itinerary for the agenda or the training and who will approve it?
So basically what was left from the training that we still wanted to do were just like hands-on workshops about like how to actually get down and write a resolution or how to like successfully plan an initiative and stuff like that. And so it was less of a like themed workshop, but more of like relevancy to Senate. And so that would be me and Amanda probably, obviously exec and Jen, yeah. Oh, you have something to say?
Would there be anything about active listening? Because I feel like that's a really important thing that we all need to kind of go through.
I mean, I'm starting to sense that that's something that like the body would want to see, so we can definitely like look into that. And definitely, I can say exec would be more integrated in deciding like what information will be presented and who would be presenting it. Thank you. Jen, did you?
Hi everyone. Just to kind of go off of a couple of the questions that were asked, if I can help clarify. Amanda and I put together the presentation for the session that Caro is referring to. We will send it over to be reviewed, whoever's interested prior, please give feedback. I also want to acknowledge that typically you all are probably used to like trainings that are at each semester mark, right? Like at the beginning of each semester. We welcome the opportunity, and I'm sure exec would feel the same if you have other ideas or topics or things, and we'll do brainstorming as well. But I'm appreciative that people are bringing that up, and the more opportunities we would be happy to assist, or but exec can take the lead on it and let us know. But that is something that's completely open for you all to voice.
You all as senators also have the power to like research some outside program or outside speaker who could probably touch on this maybe in a better way that you see fit, because the Senate Initiative Funds do help fund that as well. So you all, if you're probably tired to hear exec being kind of like the ones to handle stuff like that, you all are more than welcome to like put matters into your own hands and request that money, bring those speakers or programs, or do whatever you would like to do to handle this.
Hello, everyone. So I know that during the training, when it was interrupted, that after the fact we were supposed to do like bill writing and like initiative writing and stuff, and we didn't get to. So fortunately, Amanda shared with me like a outline of like how you would write one, like a bill or initiative or a statement or whatever. So I have that physical paper, but I did speak with Chidi about potentially like creating something like a statement or something, at least for ASG, that we don't tolerate any of that. So if y'all are down and want to be on like that bill writing, or if you have anything to write, or like want to contribute, even like the hearing of the public, if you want to contribute anything, just get in contact with me. You can email me or text me or whatever, and we should get that written pretty soon. So yeah.
Danny?
Hello all. So I know Naya's been doing a lot of work with elections and getting ready for the spring elections. We need to start making an elections committee group that can kind of help us take that on. So we already have the informationals as Anaya showed us, but would anyone like to join this committee to help out with the entire elections process? Any raise of hands? Jesse, thank you. Drew, Fantasy. Okay. Crystal, yeah, Carolina. Thank you. Alana? Okay, cool.
I'm pretty sure it can be people who are intending on rerunning. So it would probably have to be made up, if it could be, primarily of seniors, because it has to be folks who aren't intending to rerun for election.
Or elections committee?
Yeah, it would give them like inside information that wouldn't be given to other folks who are running who are not in ASG.
Okay, so we'll take the seniors that volunteer. Thank you.
Well,
Or, yes.
like sophomores can just not run, so the people that raise their hand, are you planning on running again? No? Then you're good with the full list.
Okay, thank you.
Quan?
Hello again. Hello. Okay. I don't know. Basically, USD votes, USD Dems, USD Republicans, we're all doing great work. I hope everyone in this room is registered to vote. If not, you can talk to me. Basically, if you're in California, you intend to vote in California, the California primary is during our spring break. So if you need any information about that, or if you want to talk about it, I'm here, Vice President, and I'd love to talk to you. Great.
Anybody else? Oh, Crystal.
Hello everyone, my name is Crystal. I'm a community senator, but I'm also co-chair for ACHA, which is Association of Chicanx Activists. And today and tomorrow are the last day for, we're selling roses for Valentine's Day. And our proceeds will go to help local high school students for a high school conference that we're having in April. So if you would like to purchase, come see Maya Ramirez, Val, or me.
Anybody else?
Move to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor, having been seconded, to adjourn this meeting. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please raise your placards and say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And any abstentions? Motion passes. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. There's also leftover food.